living, just enough, living, just for the city.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to New Jack City. Today we're going to be talking about Polo G and his mother. So, I don't know if y'all know, but Polo G was arrested yesterday, I believe it was, off of his album release party, which, by the way, he is on pace to sell 175,000 first week. That is a super dub. So, congratulations to him. But he had an album release party yesterday, and something happened. I don't know exactly the whole details to it, but basically it was a commotion during the album release party, and when he was outside, he got arrested. Again, you guys can go to the TMZ report and find out exactly the details of it, but that was pretty much the gist of it. It was a commotion, he got arrested. Now, when he got arrested, the whole reason why I'm really covering this story is because of the mother. The mother is on social media, and you can see her hooping and hollering and frazzled and just every choice of the word of just being not centered and not in a right state of mind because her son was locked up. That's what she was. Now, having that being said, I understand where she's coming from. I understand that obviously, like, my mom would probably be frazzled as well if she seen me locked up in front of her eyes at an album release party when, he was doing nothing wrong. But the thing is, I tell y'all so much, and y'all know I'm always a very calculated person. This was not a calculated act. Now, she went on social media and she started talking about how the police officers just to arrest her son off of an album release party. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. They just wanted to incarcerate a black wealthy man who I think she said he was doing good in the community. Or I think she either said doing good in the community or minding his own business. But pretty much, she was mad about that. Again, rightfully so. She should be mad. He did nothing wrong, rightfully so. And on top of that, that's your baby. That's your son. I understand that. But what I want y'all to pay attention to is when you look at the video, which is, again, you can go see it on TMZ or Academics. He posted it. There's a lot of people that post it. When she is doing this, she is yelling at the cops, pointing her fingers, hooping and hollering, doing all that, right? Black people, we have to understand something. And this is where it's going to get deep. Now, this is about Polo G, but this is really just about black women and black men in general. Y'all got to stop doing that. Y'all have to understand, a lot of black people don't understand, and they don't want to accept that we're in a war right now. At the end of the day, when you are going out there and you are talking to these cops and having this type of demeanor, you're doing nothing good for your son or yourself. All you're doing is putting yourself in harm's way, or you're putting your child in harm's way. Because when you're putting that aggression out onto that officer and he does nothing to you, well, guess what? He's going to do something to the next best thing, which is your son, because that's the one you're hooping and hollering about. Again, also, when they were doing that album release party, they weren't in the hood doing that. If you've seen the cops, listen, cops are very calculated. They're very calculated people. I don't understand why we're not, but they're very calculated people. If you look at the demeanor and you look at how they were coming off and how they were lined up in a row and stuff like that with just serious faces, they were not scared of anything. The reason why they were not scared of anything is because they were not in the hood. They were probably either in the suburbs or they were in a populated city where it wasn't a lot of black people in that city. They're not going to have that demeanor. I'll tell you this right now. That album release party was in the hood or in a populated black area. It would have not went down the way it went down. And they probably would have been a little frazzled and a little apprehensive on how they would have approached the woman and Polo G. The reason why they were confident is because they're not in a black neighborhood. Nothing's going to happen to them. If anything, we can put hands on you. We can put hands on Polo G. I think they knew who it was, so they probably didn't go that far. But just imagine if Polo G wasn't Polo G. Oh, that mess would have went left for sure. Now, again, I tell y'all about y'all need to be calculated. That situation could have went real left with her mother. Now, I talked about what could happen with Polo G off of her aggression. But off of her aggression alone, off of how she's talking to these police officers, she could have gotten herself in harm's way. That's why I said, black people, we need to be calculated. We have to understand we're behind enemy lines. When a cop is coming to you and he's saying you are arrested and doing all this other stuff, most cops, they're going to try to aggravate you. They're going to try to get a rise out of you. Why? Because when they get a rise out of you, they're going to be able to take out their gun and shoot you, and they're going to say, oh, I feared for my life. Now, if you're behind enemy lines, remember, behind enemy lines is when you are not in the hood or you are not in a neighborhood where it's populated with black people. That's behind enemy lines. Anything else, everywhere else is behind enemy lines. So if you're not in that type of area and the cops are trying to arrest you and they're trying to get a rise out of you, the only thing that you should ever say is, do you want the cuffs in the front or the back? That's it. Why? Because it's much better that you fight for your life. I mean, you fight to get out of jail than fighting for your life. And that's just real. You ain't gonna look like no punk or anything like that. If anything, I would think you look like a G. Because you talking about, damn, you telling the cops you want in the front and the back for sure. But see, we think, oh yeah, we don't stand up to a cop. We look like punks. No, bro. It's being calculated. It's just having a war type of mindset. That's all it is. Do you want the cuffs in the front or the back? That's it. Go to the precinct, do your thing, get out of jail, and guess what? You can legally sue them. It's that simple. It's that simple. I just wish that black people were more calculated, because this was a very reckless thing that she did. And Polo G, she put Polo G and herself in danger, and the people that she was with. You know he's going to get out. It's not like he can't afford it. He's going to get out. What's the point of being all like, frazzled and mad like that? What's the point? He's going to do what? He's going to sit in jail for a couple of hours, if that a day, maybe a weekend. If he can't get bond because of the judge or whatever. I don't know how the court system works, but he might stay a weekend. What's that? Nothing's going to happen to him. But what you did, stuff can happen to him, or stuff can happen to you. Black people, we got to be more calculated. But having that being said, how do y'all feel about the Polo G album? How do y'all feel about Polo G going to jail off of his album release party? How do y'all feel about the whole situation? Leave in the comment section. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel. All right, I'll see y'all next time. All right.
Living just enough.